What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Last Call podcast. I am your host, Arthur. For those of you who are tuning in from the Bourbon and BS podcast, I appreciate all the love and support and welcome in. But do not panic. You are going to get the same show, same vibe, and same energy you've always gotten from me and our guests. Just a little bit more polished. For those of you who still want a little bit more uncut, unfiltered, and more intimate conversations, make sure you sign up for our Patreon, because for the low price of free $99, you can get access to behind-the-scenes interviews, content, recipes, and just some random ramblings, because that's what we here do for you. As always, guys, thank you for all the love, support. Make sure you like, subscribe, give a 5-star review, share with your friends, and if you'd like to be a part of the show, make sure you contact me at arthur@lastcallpod.com. Once again, that's arthur@lastcallpod.com. Now let's jump into it. Thanks, guys. All right. Wow, David. Welcome to the show. Today, I am your host, Arthur. I'm here with special co-host David Lawrence. I am David Lawrence, photographer, ultra marathon runner, and apparently really good at making pig noises randomly at the end of the intro.
Squealing.
Pig squealing.
Yeah. Like I'm in a metal band. You're not familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay.
But we are not at a metal concert.
I don't know. My whole brain is a metal concert.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
And today we're here with Victor Hara, is our guest today. I met him at least at the Run the Weekend project.
I also met him there.
Yeah, which was another thing we were about to I didn't realize that you guys hadn't known each other until this event. Yeah. So for those who follow me on social media, we did Run the Weekend with David Lawrence. It's a huge success. Shouts to you.
Yeah, it was great.
You guys had a panel, and I had the privilege of taking pictures and getting to hear their journeys. And Victor was one of the panelists. He is a former soccer player, runs his own business for sports kind of recovery, and all this really unique story. So David said we need to get him on. He has a very inspirational story and a lot going on. So welcome in, Victor. How are you?
Well, first of all, thank you, David. Thank you, Arthur, for having me here. It's just another way for me to talk about me and about what I do and how I do it and why I do it. Mm-hmm. So thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, man. Claro. For those of you that got to see that panel in real time, once again, it was super inspirational. I'm not a runner. I have a car, so I'd rather drive places. I don't know why people keep running. But I'm not going to lie. There was a moment there. I was like, hey, shit, maybe I should be doing it too. And then,
you left. You left the middle of the... You were so inspired. You left in the middle of the panel and started running.
No, I almost so close to be like, hey, who's got 10 and a half shoes? I'm going to do this right now. And then I remembered that I can't run really fast, so fuck that. So Victor, I want to really hop in and get to know you. David said that he has a random story he wants to open with. Do you mind if he starts?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, I have a great story.
The last podcast, I told a story about
your barista therapist.
Yeah, someone wondering if my therapist had autism. But we'll just cliffhanger. You can go back and listen to the previous episode. So my mom called me a couple weeks back and told me that a family friend that we've known since I was like 10 years old, probably, that there was going to be a memorial at her house. And I thought the memorial was for the friend and that she passed away. So...
What the memorial? Okay, I'm not ruining it. Go ahead.
No. So I go to this memorial thinking that I'm going to see my mom's friend who I grew up with, or that we're going to celebrate her life. And I walk in, and this lady's just sitting in the corner of the room. She's there. And I'm like, the fuck? I was like, and so I realized that my mom, this is horrible. I hope that none of these people ever actually listen to this, because I'm just a horrible piece of garbage.
I want them all to listen.
So I realized very quickly that I just misunderstood, and it was my mom's friend's daughter's husband who had unfortunately passed away. And it was a memorial for him. But I, this whole entire time, thought it was my mom's friend who I grew up with, and I was very surprised to walk into this place and see her alive sitting in the corner.
So you went to a building expecting the person to no longer be with us, and they're sitting in the corner. Was there a moment where you thought, supernatural thoughts? Was there
No, I just realized I was a moron. That was it.
Just making sure. Hey,
I was glad she was still alive, and it made way more sense why my mom wasn't more sad. To be honest, I was like, shouldn't she be like devastated? Like this is one of your really good friends.
Yeah, shouldn't you be heartbroken right now?
Yeah,
Like, you're just vibing.
So that was yesterday. Yeah,
that's a weird situation to be in.
Weird times. But anyways, that's all I've got. Let's jump into it.
No, look, I'm not gonna lie. There's a part of me like Hispanic culture is real superstitious. I'm not really superstitious, but if you are assuming this person is no longer with us and you see them in a corner,
something is up.
There's gonna be some Hispanic person who's like, "The fuck is going on?
Yeah,
you need to save his house."
Did you guys see that movie with LL Cool J where he pretends to die and at the funeral he shows up at the end and like walks in through the back as everyone's crying and they're all like, "Oh my god, you're still alive!"
No, I have never seen
I think
that
it
movie.
probably came out in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was kind of a subpar movie, but
most of his are.
Yeah. But the idea of it's kind of funny, and it's LL Cool J.
Actually, I don't remember the name of the movie, but I think I did see it.
Anyways,
so
yeah.
Victor,
Yes.
how are you, man? Like, tell us about like what you everything, because you have a really rich history. You got into running. What ended up making you say yes to getting on the panel for the Run the Weekend project?
So I believe that one of the main reasons why I wanted to get in the panel is because I saw the title, right? How do we keep going? And I feel like everybody that was already in the panel had a mission that they are been either going through or are already, doing something. But in my case, it was more like I'm going through something, which is my knee situation, where I feel like it could be not just inspired for runners, but like for someone that is not even a runner, for someone that is just dealing with a situation that they think is the end, and you can see me and it's not the end. You can keep going. It's up to you, and up to your mentality and the way you see things. But that was the main reason why I kind of like reach out and talk to David about it. And I was like, hey, I know I'm here with the cold plunges and the recovery aspect of it, but I think it would be a great idea if we make this happen. And he was all in. He liked it. So.
Oh yeah. It was really David's all in on everything he does, which I love about him.
Yeah. For better or worse. Yeah.
Hey, this situation turned out really good.
Yeah, it turned out really good. 90% of the things turned out pretty good. I was joking about the worst part.
I know. You gotta keep leaning into the joke. I got to support you. I got to make sure that. But that's awesome. I'm glad that you felt that you wanted to share that, because it does make sense. A lot of people there, even though I know one of the female panelists. Remind me her name. It was
Kristen.
I was gonna call her Caitlin. I didn't want to do it. Kristen.
Yeah. You just pick a generic white girl's name.
No,
You're like, they're all the same.
No, not.
Just kidding. You heard that, Kristen? It was a joke. Anyone heard that? I was joking.
That was your friend who said that. That was your friend.
It was a joke.
No, she had shared that she was dealing with a foot injury.
Yeah,
too.
A foot fracture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is debilitating in itself. So being able to see two panelists up there that are not. Let me go back a little bit. It's very frustrating as someone who's not always to be someone who's not generally always in great shape to see like all these Instagrammers on all these fitness influencers like who don't have injuries, who don't like it's easy, just get up and do all this stuff, blah blah. You never get to see the recovering from injuries. Yeah, you don't get to see the
dark side.
Yeah. So for you guys to be able to share, like keep going regardless of whatever you got going on, and how bad you. Tell us about the injury. Was it a tear in your MCL and ACL?
Yes, just ACL, complete tear, and bucket handle tear, meniscus.
What's a bucket handle tear?
So the meniscus, it goes in between the tibia and the femur. Mm-hmm. So what happens is when I receive the impact on the middle part of my leg, the meniscus end up on the opposite side and doing like this.
Goddamn!
So basically, the bucket handle tear because it ends up looking like a bucket handle, right?
Bucket handle.
And not a fun day at the office.
I love doctors.
Yeah.
Simple ass names of things.
So that was what happened, and the doctor was able to repair it. He didn't have to remove it. So he just put one stitch in between and repair the meniscus, which for longevity wise and for later on when I'm not longer playing at a high level or just want to be running or doing something different with my knee, I'm capable of doing it because the meniscus is still there in a full shape.
That's good. I'm glad that it wasn't something worse.
Yeah. More than it was, it's still able to take good things out of it. could it be always worse?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing to say. That there's a lot of times that. So I had shoulder surgery.
Okay.
Have you had massive? Oh,
I've had an appendix removed. That was it. Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Making sure. I got hit by a truck. Well, a big white van, one of those like work vans, rear-ended me.
Did you get money?
Hey, what are you, Morgan and Morgan?
That's all I'd be thinking about.
For the people, like for the people. So I got hit by a van. I didn't really think anything of it because I was like lifting pretty regularly. I was competing in CrossFit competitions. I was doing all these things.
Cool.
So I'm used to being sore and just
and
things
in pain.
In pain. Yeah. When you do MMA, you do these sports, there's a certain level of like a pain threshold you're used to. And you just got to move on until I had shoulder instability. I couldn't like lift the stuff. I could push the weight, but I couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Turns out I had 2 partial rotator cuff tears and my labrum was torn off, like clean off. But because I had big biceps and triceps and all this, a week of like feeling sore and having to wear a wrap and ice it, went back to normal. So I was just like, la 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 la, ended up requiring a bunch of surgery.
Yeah.
But luckily, like you, it was able to be one of those surgeries that you can kind of get back and do the things you enjoyed and all that stuff. So
Yeah. I'm still, recovering. Last week was 3 months post surgery, so it's pretty recent. I said right now I'm no longer using the brace, the crutches, and walking. The pace of walking is a little bit better. Not running or sprinting or jogging yet. But it's coming along. Yet. It's coming along. I think it's important to finish the sentence with yet. So your mind should start thinking that there is, something else coming up your way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to continue improving. Swimming, it's been helping so much. It feels more normal too. The first day I swim after the surgery, it was terrible. I didn't feel like I knew how to swim or the coordination wasn't there. But like after a couple of weeks doing it, was like, okay, it's coming along, it's looking better, So yeah, I'm happy that I've been able to improve and progress. It hasn't been easy, but it's part of the process. It's not linear, perfect, but in the high and lows you still see the benefits of it.
That's awesome. I'm happy. I'm happy. And for those listening at home who didn't get to see it, this man walked up limping and he said, "Hey, do you guys need help carrying anything?" What are you doing? Like, no, go in the house. Like,
Definitely a psychopath.
Yeah, he was so ready to just lift whatever crazy Pelican cases David had.
Well, there was 2 things that I was going to say. One is I also noticed we're going to make Victor feel uncomfortable, and hopefully you'll agree with me. He has such nice skin. Like, it's absolutely incredible. Like, I want to know, like, first thing I saw you, I was just like, holy shit. You have such beautiful skin. I was like, do you have a skin routine?
I don't.
You just got good genes. Incredible. Okay, and then the second thing that I was going to brag on him about was that we joked earlier, I think before the podcast, or talked about how, like, if I want something for better or worse, I'll just ask people, like, to make it happen. Like, if I want to photograph someone, or, like, I don't know, if I want to see anything happen, I will. But Victor asked if he could do the panel with me, which, like, I feel like can feel awkward, but, like, it was really cool because I wouldn't have known anything about his story besides his business and one of their offerings being Cold Plunges.
Yeah.
Like, it would have just ended at that for me. And so he went out of his way to take a chance to be like, hey, like, I resonate with this. Here's some of my story and what I'm going through. Can I, like, talk with you guys? I'm sorry if this is rude. And I was like, this isn't rude. Like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is how I live my life. Like,
I'll tell you the truth. One, big on both of you, because I think I commend you both for just reaching out to each other, to randoms. Just be like, hey, I want to do this thing. And you both took a risk. You get turned down.
I feel like what David said is like, yes, you're going out of your way to make things happen, but if you don't go out of your way to make things happen, then what?
You do nothing.
You're just waiting for somebody to knock your door and make it happen for you. And unfortunately, it's not really that way most of the time. So when I saw the whole kind of like the setup of the Run the Weekend overall and saw the panel, I was like, I just feel like this is a great opportunity for me to keep telling myself I can keep going. Because there is many times that when lights are off, when cameras are off, when microphones are off, it's very easy to give up.
Yeah.
And if I do this, the panel in that case now takes me to this situation where I'm in a podcast and talking to you guys. Tells me that, hey, within 3 months you now are a totally different person mentally and are progressing better. Who tells you that in 6 months I'm not gonna go back and say this? I'm like, this is amazing. You were able to make this happen even though you were not at your 100% mentally, emotionally, physically.
100%.
So sometimes we have to do out of our way and get out of that comfort zone to be able to make things happen. Doesn't matter what other people say or think, because the worst thing that could happen is David said, no, I'm sorry, we don't know you, we cannot have you on it, right?
Yeah.
That could be a reason. That's okay, because he's running it. But it wasn't that case. He's actually a person that usually does that for his day-to-day work or life or whatever he does. He's someone that is always out there talking, reaching to people. So when I guess he saw me or saw my text doing that, he kind of like feel familiar with that. And I guess he
kindred spirits.
Yeah, I was like, I wish more people did that.
Yeah, so I think that was also a good door for me to open to now meet other people, and now get to meet you, Arthur, and having this opportunity to talk about not just me but like what I've been going through, so other people can see and kind of like see their shoes in mine, and like, oh, if this guy can do it, who say I can't, right? So
1,000%. And that's kind of the point in the show. Even it's to make sure. So I like to get to know the person behind the brand and behind their story. Yeah. David will tell you during his interview, 95% of it wasn't necessarily about photography. It was about how he got there.
Yeah.
And what made it made the path interesting. What made it unique to him. And everyone's story is different. We could end up at the exact same spot. Doesn't mean we took the same path. That's correct. Like that in finding those motivating factors. So.
Yeah. Oh, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm sorry if this is jumping ahead. I guess that's what I'm curious about as well. Like, you played soccer and you have like a business now doing, would you say like rehab?
Sports recovery.
Yes.
Yeah. So more like muscle maintenance, body maintenance, more like your day-to-day recovery instead of waiting to get injured to then get surgery.
Yeah. Preventative measures.
So like
injury prevention stuff. Yeah.
I guess I'm just wondering, how did you like get into that, and like how do you even know what to do in that realm?
Yeah. So
what makes you a professional? Yeah.
so let's start from the beginning, and let's go back 10 years from now, 2015. It was my freshman year in college, first summer in the U.S. And playing soccer, I broke my hip and dislocated my femur.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This isn't really casual.
It is not casual, and it wasn't a collision. Jeez. It wasn't a 50-50. It wasn't a slide tackle. It was just me running with the ball, and then from out of nowhere I'm on the ground, and one leg is shorter than the other, and my femur is out. Not out of the skin, but by the glute area.
Wait, so it was a non-contact injury?
It was a non-contact injury.
Which those are the fucking words.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you didn't even have a good story with it.
No,
it's a good story. It's a good story.
Someone tackled you, like, no, you're just doing a normal activity. It just...
Yeah, I guess, no like a major situation with the injury, but yeah, it just happened, and
that's crazy.
From there, it was just like getting. I remember like it was yesterday. Like, take me to the hospital. Then in the hospital, they reduced the dislocation and then transfer me to a bigger hospital. This happened in St. Louis, Missouri. I went to school there, and they transferred me to a bigger hospital in the city. And the first doctor was like midnight or something. The first doctor that got me there, I was a resident or something. It's like, hey, you are over 18, you can sign all this paperwork and we can go ahead and do the surgery right away if you want to. Just to let you know, you're not going to walk again. And I'm like, wait, what?
Like, ever?
Yeah, that's what he said. And I'm 18. Side note,
I would have kicked that guy.
Yeah,
you couldn't. But I
couldn't. I wish, but I couldn't.
Use my arms,
okay.
Or just my vocal cords, whatever.
So let's go back 10 years. 10 years ago, my English is nothing compared to now.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
Like 10 times worse.
So it was.
That's
a
second injury,
right?
Like,
oh my God! Yeah.
In that situation, like, you literally just can't communicate.
I was able to understand and basic communication, but now like, no, what are you trying to do this, or what if you do another procedure? Not like that, right? The thing is, on the side note, mom and dad are doctors. They both are OBGYN. So all my life,
Like they deliver babies?
they deliver babies.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So all my life, I've been in an environment where I know how the doctor treats patients, regardless if it's delivering, procedure, surgery. I've been with mom and dad to their day-to-day cases because Vic, it's Saturday, we have to go and see these three moms that they just delivered. We have to check how they're doing, and I will go and meet them, and I was probably 5, 10, 8, whatever the case may be. So I always saw, for example, dad, caring more than just the delivery aspect. Hey, how is the husband doing? Hey, how are you doing? Is the baby okay? Right. So
Okay.
I knew from a younger age that it goes beyond that just a profession, right? As a doctor. So when I had that encounter with the resident or the doctor at the hospital in St. Louis, and the first treatment was, oh yeah, you're not gonna walk again, straight to me, not even to the person that was with me, or I knew that the option that he decided to go with was straight to the point with a young athlete wasn't the right way to do it. So the first thing I did was like, I'm not gonna sign anything. Let me call mom, which is with that. So I called her. Of course, she already knew because that happened early in the afternoon and it was like midnight. So I told her what was going on, and she said, "Don't sign anything. Let's wait until maybe another cousin is a doctor too. Let's talk to your cousin and see what other options we have on the table." To make the story a little bit shorter,
I got time.
My cousin, who she speaks fluent English, she was able to talk to the resident over the phone through WhatsApp, and she was like, "Hey, is there any chance that you can double check and see, what other options we have? Because I mean, he's 18. We don't want to do an open back surgery or anything like that. Like, we want to avoid all that because the goal is that he plays again." Somehow he agreed to double check and do, before surgery, double check my hip and everything. But literally, I have a picture of me getting the anesthesia just boiling because I don't know what is going to be the decision in the OR. So the last thing I know is like he's going to do a surgery and might not be able to walk again. So I go into the OR, and I don't know, 10, 20 minutes later, I wake up and I remove the blanket right away and I start kind of like palpating everything on my legs and don't see anything. And don't feel anything. So I'm like, okay, this seems to be a good thing. And then a nurse walked by, and the only thing I saw was like on my right leg, it was like a Jess on Sharpie, and on the right side, like a big no. That's the only two things I remember seeing on my leg. And then when the nurse walked by, I was like, hey, what happened with my leg, my back, whatever? It's like, no, your hip is stable. You're not going to have surgery today. You're going to have a new doctor tomorrow. So,
Thank God for your cousin.
Yeah, I know. So we're Catholic since we were kids, and I'm a huge believer of God and especially Virgen de Guadalupe, which is a Mexican virgin. I'm not Mexican, but devoting to her for a long period of time for now. And I remember praying to her since the moment this happened to surgery and post surgery. So all this time, when I ever tell people the stories, like I think it's a miracle, because it doesn't make sense that from 1 hour to 3 hours later the hip's stable and this surgery is not really happening anymore, right? So 2-3 days later, I had a new doctor who said, "Hey Vic, we are gonna have just a small arthroscopy, remove the bones that are were broken into the impact, and with physical therapy you probably will be walking again and playing again within 7 months to a year." And
It's crazy.
with that being said,
Very different.
5 months later, I was already actually I saw the pictures yesterday, and a month, 23 days after surgery, I was already juggling the ball on the living room in the house.
I'm gonna need you to whatever you take for your morning routine. Can you share that with the homies?
Well, sorry.
No, I mean, it wasn't a morning routine. I just feel like you cannot defeat someone that never give up.
Yeah.
And I think that's who I am without knowing that. Like, I'm a very stubborn person when it comes to making something happen. And for me, it's always been the passion to play soccer. So I believe that having this big injury and at a younger age was like, oh, this is nothing. It's just been injured. I just have to, rest and do my therapy and all that. But yeah, 23 days later, I was juggling the ball already. Within 3 months, I was, swimming. And then 4th, 5th, 6th months, I was like walking, running. And then by the 7th month, I was already practicing with the team.
This man, that's dope.
So yeah, I just feel like for me at that age, because now you say it and it's like, oh my God, that's crazy. But at that age, for me, it was like, it's just the way it is. It's just my progression. I mean, I'm young. My bones are, still in a good shape. I'm recovering faster. But of course, I had a machine, a compression leg machine, that it would stick with me for 17 hours a day. I had another machine that was like a leg flexion or like knee flexion machine that it would stick with me for 15 to 20 hours a day.
Because your level of athleticism when you were in school.
Because the idea was to don't let that joint create a scar tissue, let have as mobile as possible.
Was this provided by the school?
That was provided by the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Because it was literally summertime. So when it's summer, the school literally doesn't have any right on you. Like if something happened to you, they don't cover it, even if you're on a scholarship or anything like that, because it's summertime. So the hospital provided everything, and I think with those tools plus my healthy body, I was able to recover properly within 5 to 7 months, and then the following year I was playing college level. Yeah,
that's insane.
As the captain of the team.
Just a small flex.
I just feel like
I'm commending you. I think it's important still. To
I just put that inside on my.
But that can also motivate the team members too, like your teammates too.
I believe so. I mean, I wasn't trying to motivate anybody besides myself. Like I needed to achieve something. Achieving something wasn't playing again anymore.
100%. But as a leader, I think
so. I feel like I need to make an impact. And I remember that summer after the summer of the injury, which is before my freshman college career. I would wake up 7 a.m., text the boys that were in town, hey, I'm going to be practicing at this field from this time to this time. If you want to show up, I'm going to run a session. If not, I will do it for myself. And sometimes it will show up 10, sometimes it will show up 5, sometimes it will show up the whole team. And I think that also builds a character to them, because at the end of the day, the one who votes for captain are the teammates.
Yeah.
Besides the coaching sometimes making the decision. So I was voted by my teammates. I wasn't voted by anybody else.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think it's what you really put in your head, what you want to accomplish, the way it happens. Maybe it's not perfectly the way you wanted it, but it kind of like goes along with the goal that you have or you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's to go back to your question. Mm-hmm. That's how Extra Mile started. As an idea.
Specifically, Extra Mile name.
Extra Mile Care, not the name yet.
Okay.
Just I want to help people. Why? Because in that moment, I'm brand new to the US. I'm really not knowing that you have to have insurance through the whole year. I only knew that you need to have insurance through the school year. When that happened, not a school year, so I had no insurance. So I have to pay everything out of pocket for the surgery and everything and that. It was crazy.
That's insane.
But the system,
to be able to walk again and do it, I'm gonna pay that money.
Yeah. Right. But what's crazy, if you want to add more crazy to the story, I pay $0 for everything. I apply for a financial aid. I prove that I just being brand new. I don't have a house. I don't have a car. I just as college student. My bank account is not my parents' bank account, so I have just a few bucks in there.
$38.
30. So at that moment you apply for that, because what it is many people that have the economical stability to help others, they do it because it's a tax write-off for them.
Yeah.
So it's a system that works. Mm-hmm. People can complain or not complain, but it's a system that works. So with that being said, I only had that help for the surgery and that, but not PT. So what the PT did, she goes, hey, I have extra stuff at my house. I will give everything for free to you. You have everything on paper. You can do a PT at your house. But she gave me the ball. She gave me the steps, the bands, you name it. So like that feeling of helping me was like, I got to give back somehow to somebody, somewhere, somehow, at some point. So I was like, okay, I need to help others. That mentality always been there with me and grow within the time. Then Extra Mile, the name, which in Spanish is la milla extra. Mm-hmm. It's always been a set from my mother. She's always like being that coach that is pushing and pushing and pushing. Like, you can do more. If you're doing this, you can do more. If you're getting to this, you can do more. So it's like not in a way where I need that pressure, because it's not pressure. It's a privilege having somebody that believes in you and pushes you. So that's where the name comes from, Extra Mile. And then the care, because he's going to be in the aspect of, caring for others. Yeah. I decided to go to the exercise and kinesiology road in college. That's how I get my background on knowing how to treat, the muscle and the body itself. And after graduating, besides playing professional indoor soccer, I was able to, work for different companies that, teach me to treat patients that are, athletes or people that work out often, chiropractors that teach me how to, guide a person that just had an adjustment. Do little things that you add up and then are behind my knowledge and in my experience to now I can guide somebody that is working with me. Awesome. And then the whole breakdown, how I design it or how I didn't want it is, senior year in college, I had a capstone project for a class, and they said that you have to, find a why to create a business. They didn't say create a business. They say find a why to create a business. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they say, it's like, I have my why. It was my injury. It was like, why I want to help people, because I was hurt and somebody helped me, and now look, I'm not hurt anymore. So that was easy. And wasn't easy was building, the on paper, on the computer, like the business aspect of it. But that was the class for. Whenever I remember that I tell my classmates and my professor about it, they will say like, this is the strongest why I have ever seen, because many of the whys were like as major setback from, not passing a class and now passing the class, or, I roll my ankle, or which is not less important than my situation, but like this is just beyond. I mean, we're talking about like not walking again to now trying to help others because you're able to walk again. So that's how I started it. And then also wanted to mix the extra mile and not having a studio or a store or a center to drive into people. So driving the extra mile to help you. Driving so like it kind of like matches.
So you would
everything.
Drive to.
Yeah.
That's
at first, yeah. Yeah.
That's a good way. I'm like,
Yeah.
The extra mile.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to you to make sure I can help you.
Yeah.
So awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of like it started, right? But then you will notice that driving 3 hours, it will take you probably only 2 clients. When if you stay in one spot, you can see from 3 clients to maybe 6 clients if they only do 30-minute sessions, right? So like now it's no longer, let's think about just helping. Now, if you want to help more, you have to have a stable business. And that's how it become more serious and more serious and more serious. And then I decided to, okay, now it's the right moment to have a store, to have a studio, or to, connect with the right people to have that, right? So with that being said, I just kind of like, I did steps. Every step count. It wasn't a major step. It wasn't a small step. It was like, and now I'm no longer driving. And now I'm, a small setup here. And now I have another setup here. Oh, now any longer, no more setups. I'm now doing a studio in Winter Garden. Like, right? So in my experience, it's been not just talking, but also doing.
Yeah. Because
it's easy to say what you want, because it's good to say it. But at the same time, you gotta do something. Yeah. If you want the latest car that the Ford just came out with, or whatever.
Ford, come on.
Well, I don't know. I don't like cars, but it doesn't matter. So whatever takes me to point A to point B, I will take it. So what's your favorite brand?
Of what?
Cars.
I don't care about cars.
Oh, okay. I thought you do.
But
Okay.
I just want to joke about the Ford.
He did send me, when I asked for a photo of himself for the panel to promote it, he did send me a photo with a Porsche.
Okay, so I look.
How are you going to say you don't care?
Like, fuck cars, but here's a photo of me with a Porsche.
Well, I look pretty good in that picture.
Victor. He did look good in
Okay.
Even better with a Porsche.
If we remove the Porsche, the picture is 9 out of 10. If we put the Porsche, the picture
So
is
you care. It's,
the picture is 10 out of 10.
I'm not here to judge if you care about cars.
Okay.
But you can't say you don't care about cars and take a picture with a Porsche.
Hey, it was perfect
That's
timing.
fine.
Good outfit. It was look, Boston,
appreciate it.
good outfit, North End, Italian vibes. Hey, you gotta do
I'm
it.
not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I just wanted us to be consistent. Consistency matters.
It does matter.
I'm fucking with you. I'm good.
Okay, so
I have to give you a hard time.
okay, so if you want the latest Porsche
Which I don't.
on the
I want an
market,
old one if I get
okay,
one.
okay,
All right.
you have to start somewhere where
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
I need to save money or invest money, so
Yeah.
at some point I can buy it.
Yeah.
Or rob a bank.
Or not do
No.
that. Yeah,
I'm way too dark to be doing that. I'm never getting out.
no. So in that moment, I feel like that's the main thing. Like
Yeah.
do stuff, like even
Yeah.
the little stuff. So yeah, that's how everything started with me, and continue to happen because it's gonna be.
It's little steps that get you to the bigger thing. It's
Yeah.
consistency.
Yeah.
I just said it jokingly, but consistency
But it's true,
is
it's
key.
true,
Yeah,
it's true, it's
consistency is key. You can't decide, I'm going to get to point Z and try to skip steps.
Yeah.
You're going to fall right back.
And consistency doesn't have to be always perfect. That's
No,
important.
no.
Like
Show up
consistency
every day.
consistency doesn't mean about always having the perfect score or always having the perfect amount of money to save. It's like maybe this month you couldn't save the $50, but 25 is better than 0, right? So little things like that matters because showing up every day is what really determine on the bigger
Yeah.
picture where you at.
The person who shows up every day is well ahead of the person on the couch.
Yeah.
Significantly ahead of the person on the
Yeah.
couch.
I actually, sorry to interrupt, but
Right.
I just saw a video about this sports psychology guy that he mentioned. Why does the athletes, meaning runners or soccer players, baseball players, only want to do good or focus on the game day? Most of the time, you mainly focus on the run, mainly focus on the day of the Ironman happens, mainly focus on the game time, or that's one day out of the week when you have the other 5 or 6 days to train. If you focus on those 6 days, there is nothing to worry on game day or competition time. And many times we don't see it that way because we've been taught that competing is everything. And it is everything. You have, as a pro athlete or as a semi-pro athlete, competing is everything. But to be able to compete or make sure that competing is everything, you have to show up Monday to Friday and put in the work like you're competing every day, and then show up on game time and be like, okay, I can do this. Me and my team or me and myself can do this.
Yeah.
So it's important to mention that because many people want to be successful or are looking to be successful. I consider myself that I'm always chasing to be successful. I'm not seeing myself as a successful person. So what I try to do is try to enjoy the process, which is hard, but I try to, or at least I repeat it to myself. So I believe it more often.
We're going to take a break, but I do want to give credit where it's due. Like my fiance recently, a couple months ago, I think anytime that you're doing something you're passionate about, you're your worst critic. So personally, I was like, this video's not coming out great. Like this lighting's trash, blah, blah. Yeah. But I made a goal, like every day I was going to record something. Every day I was going to mess with lighting. Every time I was going to experiment with a technique, do something different just to have to see. I said, now I gotta, and she caught me and called me out, which love her for it. Yeah. I said, fucking have to go in there and make a video. She's like, you get to do a video. Yeah. She's like, if you say I have to do a video like it's a chore, you're not gonna love it and it's gonna come out trash. You get to do something you're passionate about. I'm like, relax. And she's like, you get the privilege to do something you want to, and every single day you try something new. If it doesn't work, cool, you learned what doesn't work. She's like, but don't approach it like you have to fall. She's like, you have to fall in love with the process. The process is going to fucking suck. She doesn't say that because I curse way more than her. She's like, well, the process is gonna suck. Get in there, get through that, and get better. Like you're not gonna be an expert tomorrow. Because I would see videos and see these reels and see these things, and I was like, I want to get to that. I want to get the videos like that. I want to do the cinematography type of things like that, just to get better at my craft. And I would look at it, and she's like, "Then fucking practice." The fuck, don't be coming in here yelling. But we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to dig deeper into not only your business, but just what it does for athletes and all this, and just kind of what you're offering there as well. But
for sure,
be right back, guys. Hey guys, here at the show, we ask that you follow 3 simple rules that'll save your night and possibly your dignity. Rule number 1, don't drink and drive. Seriously, Uber exists for a reason. If you wouldn't trust yourself to build IKEA furniture after 3 bourbons, you definitely shouldn't be behind the wheel. Rule number 2, avoid Amazon one-click buy. Drunk you thinks a medieval suit of armor is a great investment. Sober you, not so much. And then try to explain it to your credit card company then. And finally, rule number 3, do not text your ex. Look, they had their chance, and you deserve better. No one ever found happiness at the bottom of a 2 a.m. I miss you text. Move on, hydrate, and remember. All right, guys, we are back. So we did kind of skim by a couple things about Victor's time in college as a soccer player, because there is a pretty crazy story about he wasn't able to walk, might not have been able to walk again, and then became the captain of the team, and he's holding like, hey, who wants to do some extra training? So here we are. So after that, you continued playing soccer for Missouri Baptist University.
Yeah.
First of all, how'd you end up at Missouri Baptist University?
So the main
That
reason
feels like a random school.
So the main reason is because I was first recruited to Lindenwood University in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
And after the injury, I said like, hey, what is gonna happen here? Lindenwood is not gonna offer me any scholarship if I'm coming back from an injury. So what really happened was I decided to not go to Lindenwood that following semester and end up going to Lindenwood
Can you turn that camera a little bit?
To St. Charles, to St. Charles College, and there it's when I did like 2 years and then recruited to Missouri Baptist. From Venezuela to St. Louis is kind of like weird because not really a major city that most of the people go, but they had a really good program for international students and stuff like that, so that's why the main reason I end up there. And then the full ride they offered me at St. Charles College and Missouri Baptist, so it was a great time for me to play for these 2 schools and not just compete at a good high level, but also like to see myself capable of doing more than just play back home and assume that I'm okay or good at back home, like also put into the test that, hey, I can compete somewhere else too, and with different nationalities, different teammates and coaches. So that was a great experience for me.
Awesome. Yeah, because I knew that it wasn't a linear path.
It wasn't.
It's a kind of, I don't know enough about soccer in college. Yeah. And to me, it stood out. I was like, I've never knew that Missouri had a giant soccer program, but apparently it's a pretty solid.
Yeah, I would say that in the Midwest, there is different schools, bigger schools than Missouri Baptist for sure, that also offer D1 stuff and opportunities like that. But yeah, around the United States, you can see it more often that schools are becoming bigger and bigger in soccer for sure.
Yeah, and then obviously I've joked with my friends because I'm an American football fan, and it's like, oh, there's only one football. We'll joke about like go back and forth, but obviously it's the highest watched international sport.
Yeah.
For a reason.
No, yeah, it's worldwide is a most watched sports.
Yeah.
And the reality of that is because you don't need money to see it or play it or be part of it. Like
you don't need a bunch of extra equipment.
You don't need equipment. I mean, what would you say? A ball? Okay.
Cleats.
People.
Even then, no.
Without shoes. Yeah. People. What do you think? People from South America are so good sometimes. Yeah. Well, because the reality is that they play without shoes. 4 rocks are the 2 goals, and the ball, if they don't have a ball, it could be a bunch of socks, and somehow it ends up in a ball.
Holy shit, that makes sense.
And that's how you play. Not gonna lie, it wasn't my reality, but that's the reality of many back home and in other countries. So that's why it's so easy to be part of it, because if you are playing with a soccer ball by yourself at the park, and I'm by the park by myself and say, hey, pass me the ball, you'll be more likely to pass me because it's better to have somebody to pass the ball to.
Yeah.
And it's the same as catch, it's easier.
Yeah.
But, golf is not like that. Tennis is not really like that if you don't have the space, so it's like with soccer, you don't even need a perfect rectangle to play the game,
Yeah. If you wanted to practice dribbling, you could just go on a walk and practice dribbling.
Yeah. So I feel like that's why it's so common around the world. In the U.S., it's growing. Still, but not around the world. It's the number 1 sport.
That's fair.
Yeah.
David, I know you had any question?
Yeah. No, I guess I'm just. I was wondering more about Extra Mile. Like, so I got connected with you originally because of the ice bath. I was like, I want an ice bath at my event, but like, what else do you guys do and offer?
Yeah, so it's very curious because many people, when they come to us and talk to us at the events or reach out to us, they right away assume, and it's okay to assume, that we offer cold plunge services at our location, and we don't. But we see the key aspect of offering cold plunges at the events, and it's because we guide the cold plunging experience. So if it's your first time, second time, or just wanted to have somebody guiding you while you're doing a cold plunge, that's what we do. We have noticed many people that do cold plunges because it's, you know, trending and it's fun, but most of the time they worry more about the picture, the video, who is gonna record them, who is gonna, you know, take care of the best angle, and I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, you are brave enough to do that, and you wanna record it forever. So I'm happy. But what if instead focusing on that, you focus on yourself, focus on being present, and focus on breathing? Those three things are gonna allow you to stay longer than you're expecting, and that video, that picture is gonna look even cooler because you don't look terrifying, and you don't look that this is too much for you, and you don't look like you cannot handle more than 3 seconds. So the cold plunging experience, as an extra mile providing it, it's more, we want people to not just enjoy the experience, but also understand the benefits of doing cold plunging. Many people do it now just because of how trendy it is and not really know the behind story of it. And I think that's where we come in place. We come in place knowing them the importance for muscle recovery, mental enhancement, mood alignment, and you know, there is many of more benefits and services that we offer. But mainly, like, people, when they talk to us about it and then do the cold plunge, they're like, oh, this makes sense now. Oh, I know what to do now at home, or next time I do a cold plunge, I know what to think. Because the reality is, many people don't really know what to do when they're cold plunging, and they're gonna get out because it's freezing in their toes, freezing on their ankles. They don't know if, you know, a minute or 2 minutes is enough. And the reality comes to the time inside the cold plunge matters based on how cold the water is. It's not how tough you are. No, I can stay 20 minutes. Great. But maybe the water is 35 to 40 degrees, and staying 3 minutes will be the same thing as staying 10 minutes. So why would you suffer extra 7? Oh, you want to be mentally more strong, you want to be more resilient? That's a different aspect of the recovery. But it's no longer talking about muscle recovery. Because the muscle recovery really happens after you get out. When you are in there, what really happens is your body goes on survival mode. If we need to cut your arms and your legs and you need to leave tomorrow, you will leave. It will be a tough life, but you will leave. And that's what really happens inside the cold plunge. Inside the cold plunge, your body goes on survival mode. So it's only blood flow to the vital organs, brain, heart, lungs, only receiving circulation and blood flow to those organs. No to the limbs, no to the arms, no to the legs, because you really don't need them in a survival situation. When you get out, that your body start getting back to that regular temperature of yours, that new blood rushes to the limbs, and that's what repairs the muscle tears, helps or enhances the muscle recovery. That's what, and really, people will see it. If people get to be present and realize what's happening, they'll feel the rush.
Sure.
You know, that blood going to their limbs. And that's key, because now people are like, okay, now I can do this at home on my top. Sure, you can. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's perfect, you know. Oh, that is not super convenient because you have to get ice. Sure, but you're doing the recovery that you're expecting. If you're sore, most likely next morning or that night, you don't feel sore as much, right? So the important thing about this is science backed up all those things. And with science backed up all this type of recovery, helps not just the athlete, but the regular person to understand that, oh, I don't need to take pills to feel better. I don't need to, do muscle relaxers to feel better. There's some occasions for sure that, your body might need more than just a stretch or a cold plunge. But if you're just an athlete that regular basis are under training and you need, something to recover, this is a great tool to do so. So that's one thing that we offer at the events, but not at the studio and Winter Garden. But it's a great way to communicate and connect with others, because the moment that we inform them about the benefits and the good things about it, they stick to us. And what else do you do? Actually, this is what we do. So it's the perfect way to make people understand that recovery is not a one pill thing. It's more like many things that you put it together, and then that might work for you, that doesn't work for me. Sure. That might work for you and doesn't work for him. So that's why we are doing these events where we put out our cold plunges, not just to marketing or company, but also to make people understand that cold plunge is one tool of recovery.
I know that on your site you also utilize compression, like it's those inflatable
compression boots,
boots, and all those.
Yeah,
you also have wraps. It's not just boots too, right?
Yeah. So what we have at the studio is the compression boots. They also have for the arms and the hip, but at the studio we only use the ones for the legs.
Yeah. So when I've actually utilized those just because I thought it would. During the CrossFit times, we've had people come in from like recovery, like sports nutrition, sports recovery organizations. Different. We had a couple doctors and all that, and we got a chance to try those. And you also talked about it as being an integral part of your recovery from your surgery, right? Is that part of the reason why you integrated that into your business plan?
No, not really.
Because you might have been like, hey, I could tell you that this works.
The compression boots that are in the market now for regular people like us actually come from the OR idea of putting this to patients that just have surgery so they don't have any clogs, blood clogs in their legs, arms.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It's just, this is a more sophisticated idea presented to regular people.
Increasing blood flow.
And athletes and that. But if you take out the cool aspect of the brand presented to you and you go back to the simple of a machine doing compression to your legs, is avoid blood clot when you are not able to move because you have just surgery 3 days ago or a day ago.
Oh, okay.
So this is the transition for regular athletes. Not regular day-to-day people and athletes that need that recovery on a day-to-day because of the heavy loads and heavy workout that they do. Okay. And they don't have to have surgery to use this. Right. But they need that blood flow, that blood circulation, coming in and out.
Dude, as an ultra marathoner, have you taken any of these?
No, I should.
You just walk around sore.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm really bad at stretching or anything like that.
And we learn to live with that. We learn to live with pain, discomfort. You mentioned earlier that as an athlete you have a threshold where you are okay with pain, and it's like, what if we're not? Like, what if instead of being in pain and you work out or you run from Monday to Friday, and then on Saturdays you have your day off, for example, and you have your recovery session. What I mean by a recovery session, well, you get your assistant stretching mobility, improving flexibility and range of motion.
I would love to record David getting
Dude, I would scream. Literally
professionally stretched. I think that might go viral.
One of my friends was saying that we go to the Y together, and he was saying that he's waiting for me to get in trouble or kicked out of the Y because I'll go and sit in the sauna, and then I will literally stumble to the shower, and I'll jump in the shower. I usually will do it cold after the sauna, and I'm just I'm literally just moaning.
In pain.
Yeah.
In pain.
And part of it is because it feels good, but I'm also just I'm just walking around sore all the time. So yeah, I think that if we did something like that, I would just be making noises the whole entire time.
How much is it for me to get him stretched?
So the first session is $80 and includes everything.
Amazing. Wait, what is everything?
Includes compression boots, includes assistant stretching, includes cupping and scraping.
That's crazy. That's a deal.
It is a deal. Yeah. It includes it.
Then what after that? Does it go up?
So
fuck you, I'm taking all your money.
So it's also, depending on what you have, we also can do some myofascial release, which is, the fascia is the connective tissue around the muscle, that if you don't release that tension in the fascia, the muscle won't, give up that tightness. So sometimes you have to work a little bit softer on the fascia to be able to get deep tissue on the muscle. So yes, and you will say, that's so much for so little. But at the end of the day, recovery.
Yeah, I don't think that. I was
if you go to a massage, it's $120.
I was about to say, I don't think it's that little. I go to a chiropractor one time a week
my
for like $60 a month.
$80 a pop. Yeah.
But the thing is,
no offense, I love you, Dr. Joe.
we haven't been taught to really, do this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We have to wait until we're half injured or not able to run as much as, or we decrease our pace to, actually should see somebody. Well, not really. When you go and see professional athletes, they finish their session, they go to the athletic training room or the PT room, and they just get soft tissue, stretching, and set for next day. Why? Because they're competing every weekend, every day, and they need to take care of themselves on a daily basis. Yeah, we might not be at that level, but we're still putting in the work like them.
Yeah.
And on top of that, stress of life, work, and many things that add up to those muscles to have more tension. So that's why I want to, fill up that gap in the system where, PTs can use us as, I don't want to do Graston, I don't want to do cupping because, my time, it's more important for, reteach the body to move, but I have a company that can do that for you. Boom, we fit in there.
As someone who has done professional stretching, and I've done Grasting, and I've done all that, especially as part of like my shoulder PT. Shouts to Tony Hassel. She, I'm gonna shit a little bit on one organization, but not directly. So after my accident, you get the surgery, they assign you kind of, hey, you want to go here for PT, and I was in there as an athlete, like I just literally was competing. Yeah. And they're making me do like I'm there with senior citizens and doing little lady things and little men things. And I'm like, this is not the kind of recovery I need. Yeah. Like there's nothing against that, but my body was capable of more.
You have to get that threshold.
Yes.
If I treat an athlete as a sedentary person, that athlete is not going to come back to the sport the way he needs to come back to the sport.
And my recovery was slow and not where it should have been. So I'm doing extra stuff in my own time. And I had gone by my CrossFit gym to get on like air assault bike and do my lower body stuff to get moving again, and wear like a weighted vest and do lunges, do something to get moving. And she's like, hey, let me see your range of motion. And she saw it and she's like, absolutely the fuck not. Yep. She's like, I need you to come in here every Saturday. Let's do some shit.
Because the problem is not able to compete again. The problem is when CrossFit is over, you're gonna have a frozen shoulder, and then you're gonna get you're gonna become an older person. And your right arm is not going to be able to be functional. Mm-hmm. So now we're not even talking about sports anymore.
I didn't even care about being a pro athlete. I just wanted to be able to function
properly. And you have to attack that early, post-surgery, early injuries, because if not, then it's too late. And again, we are not the type of company that's going to take care of that because we're not PTs. We're more like that enhancement or, myofascial release, assisted stretching, mobility. But I know that our company can benefit PTs because if we don't have the time to see a patient or a client or an athlete that only needs Graston, they will have somebody that do it for them.
Yeah, so that's what ended up happening. She said, she's a PT, like this is her license is PT. She said, because we're friends, like she's been invited to my engagement party. We've been friends for like, honestly, probably 10, 11 years. She just said, come every Saturday to the gym. I got her keys. We got you. And we did Grasting, stretching, movement, all this. And when I went back to the regular PT I was already going to, they were, oh my God, you've made so much progress. Like, are you doing so much stuff at home? Like, it's been 2 weeks with somebody else.
Yeah. Because it's all scar tissue. That's what really happens. And when the scar tissue builds up on that joint, it's really difficult to just break it down with a movement. So you have to like literally break it down, and through sweating and peeing is when you remove all those toxins out of your body. But you have to have that manual therapy happening. If not, it's really happening. It's really difficult to make it happen.
And for people who have not done it, he's not paying me. He's not a sponsor, nothing like that. Who've not done like being forced to stretch. David, you need to get forced to stretch because I need to record it. I've gone to one of those stretch zone and like one of those places, and their system's unique. They basically strap you down to a table, and I have terrible hips. I squat heavy, all that, but it takes me like 20 minutes of warming up. Yeah. It's one of the worst parts of me. Hamstrings tight as hell, fucking worst part of me. Yeah. And they tie you down and just go to work. Yeah. My lower back stopped hurting. I was squatting heavy still. I was not feeling as tight. I was feeling more mobile. I was like, what the fuck? It fucking sucked the first, second, or third time. I was like, because you're so tight.
You are used to that.
Yeah.
You're used to feeling tight. You're used to feeling, sore.
Yeah.
But the moment that you realize that your low back hurts because you have tight hamstrings and the tight hamstrings are pulling that hip down, and then now your hip is tilting forward, and now that low back is...
Instead of like this, you're going like this.
Yeah, and now the low back is forcing to be, more tight than usual, and that's why the low back is painful. But the problem is not the low back. The problem are the hamstrings
and your glutes,
right?
People forget that shit. People think like,
so it's important, and I don't know, David, if you will agree with me on this, but
as a runner,
and as a person that see a lot of runners often, it's like many people are getting to be active later on in life. So definitely. I play all my life sports, from baseball to soccer to skate to surf. Like for fun, I did a lot of things, right? But always moving. There is some people that focus more on their school or on their careers and are amazing. But then when they're now trying to do running, paddle, pickleball, you name it, they're really suffering because they don't realize that sore is a thing, or being tight is not as normal as they assume to be. And that's the main issue with people with all these activities at a late mid-20s, late mid-30s, that they don't see a benefit of companies like mine because they have never been used to something like that. In my case, I'm like, I know a recovery session means this, and that.
As I got older, one of the things that I think in David, outside of the sauna moaning sessions, I'm sure that you would agree that being mindful of how you recover is going to make you be a better athlete. Like, and I'm old. I think we don't.
I'm only 33.
I'm older than both of you.
Longevity-wise, the only thing that you can keep going if your body allows you to keep going, and the only way that you're gonna be able to do that if is hydrate properly, eat good, and take care of yourself on a regular basis on recovery. Even if you don't go to somebody, maybe you can do it on your own, but that means that you're stretching properly every day, warming up and cooling down good, doing some ice bath on your own, even sauna on your own, like things like foam rolling, like little things like that change a lot. And I have seen athletes where they come 3-4 months with us and they feel amazing. They're like, oh no, Vic, I think I'm great now, I don't need to come. Sure, no problem.
Do it on your own.
Just keep on your own.
You can.
And then a month or two later, they're like, hey Vic, I'll be back, because it feels more comfortable when I'm fully relaxed and somebody is helping me to get a little bit further on my range of motion, or a little bit deeper on my faster release. Because sometimes we as a human don't want to suffer. So if I apply pressure on try to find my psoas and apply pressure and try to move at some point, it's going to be very uncomfortable, and I don't want to keep doing it because it's me doing it to myself. But if it's, let's say, extra mile care staff doing it for you, it's like, oh, actually, I can breathe through it and I can relax a little bit more because it's not me doing it to me.
Yeah.
David, what do you do for recovery other than sauna? You just vibing? You're just young?
I'll stretch a little bit. I'm really bad. So yesterday I ran 7 miles, and then
this man said I ran 7 miles.
And then that was a short day.
That's 108 degrees outside.
And then I literally got home, and I think I got a phone call or did something, and then I just showered and cooled off and made breakfast, and then I didn't worry about anything else after.
I'm gonna take a break before I go that, David.
My recovery is very bad, but that's pretty normal for a lot of people.
It is pretty normal, because the knowledge is not there.
Yeah, but also
I don't know if it's knowledge. It's just I'm trying to do a million things.
So,
I'm like,
okay,
but I do think
go ahead, and then I cannot fight that.
I do think that what we understand later in life is that because when you're young, when I was in my 20s, I could straight up be drunk, get hungover, and go to work not missing a beat. We'll say that I could go lift, I could do a competition. I remember, for those who are familiar with CrossFit names, or how familiar are you with the workout names?
Yeah.
So I remember turning 28 and saying I want to do 3 girls in one day, which is because CrossFit has a very specific system of there are named ROMs or workouts, WODs for the day, and a lot of them are named by women. So I remember saying I'm going to do Diane, Grace, and it was Diane, Grace, and something else. I forgot what it was, but I wanted to do 3 girls in one day. So my day was devoted to doing these 3 crazy workouts, morning, mid, and at the end of the day, and then going and drinking with my CrossFit friends. I destroyed my body. Not a problem. I fucking that night I was great. The next day I was a little sore. I stretched a little bit, foam rolled, did a lacrosse ball on my foot, and kept it moving. No. If you tell me right now
that you can do it,
to do 2 of those 3 and then function, I would collapse probably.
but most likely back at 28, if you were having that routine
regularly, my body was used to it. Yeah,
you are able to do it still now.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Maybe in a different pace, maybe not as competition wise, but it's still able to move, because the range of motion, if you keep it at a certain level, the range of motion continues to improve. It doesn't go down because you're constantly working on it. Many people focus more on heavy loads and lifting heavy and doing this and how fast can do it instead of the mobility. If your body doesn't have the mobility, how are you expecting to squat deeper? If your body doesn't have the mobility, how are you expecting to do overheads quicker? If we're talking about CrossFit, right? If your body doesn't have the mobility, how are you thinking that you're going to increase your pace? If your hamstrings are tight and you're thinking that you're going to increase your pace and you do increase your pace, most likely you pull your hamstring. Or it's so tight that you won't be able to run in the next 2 days.
Knock on wood.
Right.
The worst thing that's happened to me from a CrossFit standpoint is like shin splits. Because we had to do Murph.
Are the worst thing. I've only had them once.
Well, we had to do Murph. Murph is like you have to run with a weighted vest, then do a bunch of push-ups, pull-ups, and all that stuff, then run with a weighted vest again. And it's just, the shoes I had were meant for the lifting sides of it, because I'm like, a mile's fine in Metcons. And it wasn't. It was not okay. I should have switched shoes.
Flat one.
Yeah.
So what David was saying earlier, that he doesn't have time for cool down.
It's not that I don't have time. I just want to do 50 other things.
You're not prioritizing it.
So you don't have time. If you have, if you want to do other 50 things, you don't have the time to do that.
Is it more of a prioritization, or is it like time?
So the system here forces you to have 50 million things to do. Yeah. Let's start that way.
Yeah, the world right now,
my brain forces me though.
At least,
but I think the world also like is go.
Yeah,
go,
like
go.
you non-stop, because the more you do,
the
more you
accomplish. I did a photo shoot this morning before this.
The more you accomplish, the better, which is understandable. But at the same time, I feel like if we are able to, you run from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and you know that by 8 you got to start your day. There is an hour there where you need to shower, eat, and maybe do something else. Instead of running from 6 to 7, if you run from 6 to 6:45, you have 50 minutes before that hour that is still in there to do other stuff, to cool down. Or if you want to do, instead of 6:45, you do, 6:50. You have 10 minutes there to cool down the major muscles that you use for running: glutes, quads, hamstring, calf, hip. Five muscles that can be stretched on a regular basis on your 6 to 7 routine. So it's not long, oh no, but I'm cutting 15 minutes of my running and my running is more important. Well, let me tell you, running is more important, and when you cannot run, you're going to tell me that your running is more important when you can run. Instead, if you add up 45 minutes every day or 50 minutes every day and take 10 minutes to cool down properly, most likely next day, you might be able to run the 6 to 7 and the cool down is less because you're not as sore, because you're not building any more soreness or any more tightness on those muscles. So the main thing is, yes, we are busy. Yes, we have to do a million things, but also we're not organized thinking that recovery is important. We have never been taught that way. We are being taught that competing is important, playing a sport is important, running is important. But dude, the moment that you feel that you've been stretched and you've been doing something, you release some tension. They're like, whoa, I actually are not in a bad mood anymore, or actually I don't need to take an ibuprofen right now. I
did that pretty much of a focus for myself for when I got older. And like when I was 33, I didn't care either. I would do my cool down shit and run around and blah. And the older I got, I think I was like 35 doing jujitsu, and my body was wrecked. And every day I was like, I need to do something. Started doing sauna there and all that, but it's just different, right? Like I do think that there's a point there. I can't remember doing high school sports and being told other than, hey, do a cool down run. Yeah. Like it wasn't like go stretch. It was like go do a cool down run. Yeah. Like for wrestlers, we had to like stretch our necks. We had to do all that and make sure we were good because like you could break a neck doing that sport. Yeah. But aside from that, it wasn't like do a cool down run, go run with the track. The people who do track, just go jog with them. I was like, fuck? Okay, whatever. As the older I got, the more I realized it's more important for me, at least in my age. I can't speak for anybody else. For me, I know how I feel if I've warmed up, stretched. You can look around this room. There's a yoga mat in the corner. There's weights there. There's a lacrosse ball hidden somewhere. And there's a Theragun in that drawer.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking around about making sure I have this body at least later in life.
Yeah.
We're going to take a last break. We're going to close this thing out. I know it's getting late and it's rainy and it's weather's terrible, or I would love to. I don't want to keep you guys having to drive through the rain. Shouts to these gentlemen who drove through Florida fucking thunderstorms in the middle of the fucking day. And we have a random hurricane that apparently might be popping up. Aaron?
Incredible.
I don't know.
You guys are not
You were both the same.
I don't know.
I have a business and I need to take care of. So
I'm still going to give a run tomorrow.
I'm still going to go to work, but I'm just letting you know that this is part of the reason why we've been getting. So, you know what? We'll be right back. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you in part by Coach John Estrada of Run BMT Training, longtime supporter of the show and an absolute beast on the pavement. And for the record, this man just crushed the LA Marathon. And if you're looking to level up your running game, John's the coach to get you there. That's John with no H. Trust me, he's going to correct you. Whether you're training for your first 5K or tackling a full marathon, Run BMT, the coach is there, and John will have you running smarter, faster, and injury-free. So if you need expert coaching, hit up John at blackmattertraining.com and tell him I sent you. Now, he might not give you a discount, but he will make you a better runner. Again, that's John at blackmattertraining.com. Now let's get back to it. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, we are back, and as we're starting to get to like the tail end of our show, we do want to ask more about the business and what you got going on and kind of the plan in the grand scheme of it all. I know you recently did the event for Run the Weekend, and like you did this for free.
Well, they helped me covering the ice, and gas money.
Okay.
So I was grateful for that. The idea is to.
Well, I know David had a question about it. Go.
What's up?
Yeah, no. So it's like not just. I was like, hey, can you pop up and do this? And you were like, yeah, but we need help with ice. And then I didn't realize how much ice went into.
How much ice did
that? 250 pounds.
Excuse me?
Yeah. For the one setup for 2 hours.
For only one plunge. Yeah.
And then he ended up going and getting a little bit of extra ice, more so just for effect, like just so people could see ice going into it. Because it was a small amount that he added at the end, so he was just communicating that like that small amount isn't going to really change the temperature. Like the 250 pounds at the beginning is what made the difference, but it's like it's cool for people to see ice floating around when they're hopping in.
Yeah.
For the pictures.
Yeah. No, seriously, but
for the Vine, for the Instagrams,
for the vibes, yeah. It's like going to a restaurant. It's like the food sucked, but how are the vibes? But the thing I was wondering about is you do lots of events where you set up places for free. And I've found that I do similar things as a photographer where for, years, almost every week, I'll do some form of free photo shoot. Whether it's just like me doing something with someone for fun, one-on-one, or popping up at a bar or a coffee shop and literally just offering free portraits to people. And you can someone can look at it from an outside perspective and say like, what is that actually like doing? Like you're not making money. Like you're just showing up and giving something away. And so I'm wondering, after even watching you the last couple months, like I've seen you do dozens of events, how much is that actually like helping your business? Like, do you feel like it is? Like, are you getting clients, or are you just purely having connection with people and getting your name out there? Like, what has that been like?
Yeah, so it's a great question actually. The events are a great way for us to not just marketing who we are, but also build relationship. Every time we do events, we collect the emails, phone numbers, and names and last names of people. That's just a great way to offer our services later on, and actually that's where the main money comes in as a business app. The moment that I have a person from an event come into the studio, get their session in, and then end up buying a membership, then I have the reflect of why I went to that event.
Yeah.
What is important for me is now, thanks to do all these events, thanks to connecting with all these people also work for different brands or companies. And now I just can announce that we're going to do our first event with Lululemon in less than a month. So that's for me a kid that started with a dream in college is now collaborating with Lululemon for an event.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, and it's just the beginning because we opened our location not even a year ago.
2024.
Yeah. So, but we opened the Extra Mile LOC in 2024, but we opened the location a couple months later. So it's been probably mid-September is when we opened it, like fully the center and start receiving clients. So September of this month will be a year fully, and you tell me that in less than a year already making connection with Lululemon. I take the free events because most of the time I do adjustment with basically, they cannot cover me, the whole package. They can only cover the ice. Okay, sure. The first time only cover the ice. If you want to keep doing events with me, at some point I'm like, okay, now look, I have a staff, I have the delivery fees, I have the gas fees, I have the ice logistics. Then we have an option for them to, okay, if you want to continue to do events with Extra Mile, this is what you have to pay. Or if you don't want to pay this, that's fine. You can still cover the ice, but don't expect us to do anything with the ice, pick it up, bring it down. Our staff is not going to be dealing with that, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about just the business. The people that are with me, they need to be paid too. And that's what people don't see sometimes. They only see but it's just a cold plunge that you just put water and ice. Yeah, where did the ice come from? Who is going to pour it? Who's going to make sure that it's enough ice for the cold water to be cold enough to be recovery for the people that want to do recovery? Makes sense? So not just connecting with others benefits me, but it also benefits the brand on growing on social media. Now brands, bigger brands, reaching out to us to collaborate with them, even if it's for a small run club or for a small community. It doesn't matter because if I reach 10 small communities, it's like reaching one big community, right? So for me, it's more this first year, it's putting my name out there. And then when everybody knows about us, it's our moment to be like, okay, now if you want to do events or collaborate with Extra Mile, this is what we need to do. If you want to be part of Extra Mile staff, volunteer, this is what you need to do. If you want to come to the studio, this is the requirements you need to, need or have. Yes, it's not easy. It's not easy being out there because it's not 1 hour of cold plunge. It's maybe 2 hours of cold plunge, but we have to be there prior to set up everything and after to break down everything. It's like 4 or 5 hours of work, and it's me and 3 other people, and it's not easy only have them like, oh, don't worry, I won't pay you today. No, that's money coming out of my pocket to cover those expenses. But it's the process of me understanding that this is bigger than just an event. This is bigger than just me thinking, oh, it's just this month or it's just this year. No, it's the beginning of something bigger than me. So it's a process. I'm okay dealing with that process, but I'm not okay giving my work on my knowledge or my time for free. And that's just, one-time collaboration where only ice is covered. Sure. Second time, third time. Oh, sure. This is what we have. What would you like to do? Oh, no, we'd rather the free stuff. I'm sorry. I cannot help you.
Sure.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
I know it could be different from different people, from bigger franchise, from bigger companies, but me starting my own company is the way I can found the benefits of continue doing this. Because if I continue doing this for free or for low money, it's not really gonna cover what I need to cover to, when I'm not there, who is gonna run the show? I have to pay somebody for that. So it's just the process. I agree, it's not the greatest process, but it's a process where you need to understand that you're not Nike, you're not Adidas, you're not a big brand.
It's not the greatest process.
Yeah, no, I think it is.
Yeah, you kind of just told us how successful it could be. Go ahead, David.
No, I was just going to say, I struggle with that even still. It's like, I got paid for my first photo job in 2013, and then I officially filed for an LLC in 2016. And I feel like I'm still just like hustling and doing free things and just things for fun literally more than ever. And one of my friends who's like, I feel like he's a content creator, and like he's making probably quadruple the amount of money that I am and has literally millions of followers. He's just like, man, why are you doing all these free things? And for me, it's just like, I don't see, unless I'm just like stupid famous, I don't see a world where I don't continue just like doing things for others in some capacity. Doesn't mean I don't have client work or don't get paid for things, but it's like,
right.
unless like I'm literally like Brad Pitt or like just someone that like can't like even look outside or think about going outside without someone showing up, it's like I'm gonna keep giving away stuff to get my name out there. Like, and so I guess that's why I ask that, because I think that it's beneficial. Like,
it is beneficial to a certain point. That's what I want to come with. And that's when I mentioned not the greatest process, because when you transition to now charge, people are like, oh, now you think that you are somebody, or you now change. And it's like, well, no.
But I think there's
it's just more knowing that the process is not always going to be freebies. Like you cannot just give away only your stuff. Yes, it's a great way to put your name out there, but how many times are you going to put your name out there with the same community?
Yeah.
Only once or twice. Then after that is, if it's the same community coming at you and they already say no to coming into the recovery room because they feel like they don't need it, well, okay, perfect. But now the events have to be paid this way and this way, because now I see the benefits of having now a wellness events rent company of the Cold Plunges, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay of transitioning from not just running a studio of recovery. I'm also running a rent company of Cold Plunges. Totally fine with that, because transitioning from one to the other is not like I'm forgiving about something to do that. No, it's just like together they go along, one for the events and one for the recovery studio. So that's what I wanted to say when it was the greatest process, because at some point you're gonna have this tough discussion with somebody inviting you and thinking that just because they have 20,000 followers they can assume that your work or your time is not valuable, and then those 20,000 followers are going to reach out, and it's like, no, they're not. The 20,000 followers might, like the video or follow the page, but it's not going to be fully intent where you are an influencer, where if you say, go get a session here, they'll come and get a session here. Makes sense? They have to trust you. They have to understand who you are. They have to know where you came from. All those things have to be aligned for someone to come to you at some point, right? So that's why, instead of thinking about followers or big brands, it's more like, let me do my part of putting my name out there, and then at some point I show what I have to pay for this to happen. If they agree to reimburse or just pay that in advance, sure, by all means, let's do it, let's make it happen, because it's been happening. The events that we have done, not all of them are only being people covering the ice or the the delivery fees. Some people have paid me full price for my time, my staff time, the rent, the ice, and the delivery.
Sure.
And I'm telling you that I started this with the Cold Plunges no longer than 2 months ago. Yeah. So now you're telling me that after all this happened with opening a business, now you're telling me that I'm able to invest it in Cold Plunges with my name on it, with my brand on it, with business name on it. Sure. And now I run them and do events around Orlando, Florida. I take it. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, you might have to adjust here and there, but that's kind of like the way to, I believe, is the way to do it.
Okay, I like it. I think that there's something to be said if you did run into a situation where, this is completely hypothetical, if you ran into a situation where you worked with a partner and it became mutually beneficial, where you were getting the influx every time you worked with them, there might be something that's a symbiotic relationship that we built from it. But that would make sense in that moment. One of these creators that I follow, he says he does one of the ways that he gets behind the scenes, he gets to film and create content at locations and events and all that stuff, is he's like, I'm creating content for them. I give it to them. They let me in behind their doors. So I get in somewhere for free where I needed the content anyway, and I would have been having to pay to get there. And they get some high quality content. And then that means that their friends that are also content creators or other venues are all that get to see that and go, I could work with him too. And it turns into
they start trusting him more.
Exactly.
But that's the perfect way to get your name out there. Not expecting to always ask for money and just assume that, because at first let's face it, at first you are, if not afraid, you have the maybe the decision of, should I ask for money? Should I, right? Yeah. But then with the transition of understanding that your time is valuable, your knowledge is valuable, then you kind of like realize, okay, it's not about asking for money. It's about presenting an invoice or presenting a project where this is what we do. This is how we do it. Are you in it or you're not in it? And that's it.
And I think I'm thinking of it not as much as like people inviting you to things as much as just like a lot of times I'll just go out and do things on my own. Like this Friday, like I'm literally just, I wanted to try out something new with my like workflow for editing, but I needed people to photograph. So I'm literally just popping up at a coffee shop and doing like a free photo Friday, like where it's like anyone that's in that coffee shop can get free portraits if they want to sit for a photo. But if like the coffee shop just hit me up and they were like, "Hey, can you come and pop up?" I would probably be like, "It's going to be this amount of money."
Right.
I guess that's what I mean of just like putting, like, I get what you're saying, but like just it's different when someone invites you to something. Yeah. Because you'll add to their event, like, yes, I think
a value. You add a value to the event.
Yeah, I think you should try and charge for that. But I also think, like, there is something to be said about when you can just, like, setting up your stuff in a public place and just giving things away, like, on your own. I don't know. Yeah,
I think so it's a little bit different because we're comparing a little bit of something called photographing and
it's not costing me $250 to but my time, but I'm not having to pay for the ice.
But like, I don't know. What I'm trying to say here,
I do want to say, but you have a decade
the equipment the equipment that costs at some point costs you that, right?
You had to get the equipment, you had to do the editing, you have to do the time, you have to pay for the program, you have to pay for the
it's totally present that it has the value behind it.
I want to give him more because he wasn't giving himself the value.
You have to add the value to your knowledge, your experience, and the work that you put in. But what I was trying to say of the difference is different that when you want to do something for free on the aspect of pop up on a coffee shop, you don't really have to do much on, hey, let me take a picture here and there, when let's say that someone have a health condition and they want to, hey, let me just the
insurance and liability and all that
stuff. The backtrack on my end, it comes a little bit more difficult. When it comes to events, is you sign the waiver, you know that this is this, you agree to this, and you tell us that you are not under any condition that this could be harmful for you. Makes sense? So it is possible that I could do maybe workshops and I kind of like guide younger athletes or even or age athletes in proper warm up and cool downs 100% because that's now just sharing knowledge and connecting with others. I 100% agree to that. But actual recovery, actual manual soft tissue therapy, I wouldn't. And not because of the money aspect. It's more because what if? What if something doesn't go right on a person that doesn't really agree to come to you? You came to them and now something wrong happened.
I was about to say there's a liability for sure in your industry.
And that's why you have to be a little bit more careful when those things. And I'm okay with doing workshops and talking to people about me, the business, and how I get to hear all that. But when it comes to actually treating somebody, that's another page for sure.
100%.
Because of the importance of how critical is not just the liability situation but health overall. I mean, you want to make sure that people are in a good shape all the time. So to avoid that, I rather just do the workshops and communicating about what we do, how we do it, and then if they decide to come, then that's another topic.
That's fair. I think that's a very fair way of seeing it because of that back end thing that we don't always, like, I'm a podcaster. I don't have to worry about someone have a stroke here. That's not what happens. Or something coming back to bite me 6 months.
It cannot buy you back.
I mean, it can because if someone says something out of pocket and it's but it's a different thing. Very different thing.
Yeah.
There's no real health concerns while hanging out with me. I mean, other than if we get drunk. But you can't right now. But I know that we want to kind of close out. Where do you see your organization, EMC? I'm gonna call it EMC. EMC in the next 5 years, and what's because we talked about kind of like, hey, if it's renting the cold plunges and all that stuff, but what's the goal? It's so early on. Are you kind of like, I'm gonna play it by ear, or do you have an idea in mind?
So I would say that. First of all, thank you for the question. It's a great question to put my thought process into it and see EMC in the future. But
were you calling it EMC before? Or is
yeah,
it, okay.
in the studio it says EMC Sports Recovery Center.
Okay, cool. I was like, really sure. I was like,
yeah, no, I like it. So to start with the question, in 5 years I see EMC having different locations around Orlando. Doesn't have to be big locations. I'd rather keep it with small locations around many gyms around Orlando, so everyone have direct access to recovery. There is a one-time spot.
Yeah.
So you stop for your workout, CrossFit, weightlifting, sport performance, and then in that same spot you have your recovery. So you don't have to worry about, oh no, I gotta now drive 20 minutes to get your recovery and around, right? Because there is no time, because we have 50 million things to do after, right? So that's how I see Extra Mile. And then probably one main location when we are having more space for trainers to do their time, or just sport performance coaches when they can do their own thing. At some point, I would like Extra Mile as a brand to have mini brands that want to also succeed into the health and cosmetic and industry, because at some point you just need a bridge that give you a hand. So if Extra Mile can be a company where inside of Extra Mile you have the recovery, but you also have someone that can do your personal training and also can do your sport nutritionist, or can also do if you are a girl, can do your hair or your nails. Who says that it cannot happen? That's and right. Then the only thing that changes is from a sports recovery to wellness center. And then inside of the wellness center, you have a sport recovery, you have sport nutrition, you have personal training, you have beauty and salon. Who says it's not possible, right?
Yeah, right.
It's a very big thought. It's a very ambitious goal. But the goal is to hit high, because if it doesn't happen, I'm closer to the top instead of closer to the bottom. So
yeah, I think that I can relate with that, where you're just like, it's like you're almost making this umbrella. Because I will spend a lot of time, or I've spent a lot of time like complaining to like my close friends of being like, oh, I'm not where I want to be. But at the same time, it's like,
if it's a close friend, it's not complaining.
That's true. But at the same time, like similar to like what you're saying, like I have this overall view where I'm like, I'm just going to be so well known that like I can just do 15 things. Like you mentioned, like the nail thing and then the recovery thing. Like it sounds funny, but it's like, I'm going to be good at photography. I'm going to be good at talking with people. I'm going to be good at running and whatever 5 other things I pick up. Yeah. And it's like the world, I think, generally wants to like sell you short on those things.
Of course.
Because it's just like, you can't do everything. And for people like me, I'm like, well, you may not be able to do everything, but you can do like 75 or 80 or even 90% of things.
So the way I see it is, you don't have to do everything. You just have to build the community that can do everything.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I don't have to be the one doing it.
It may not necessarily be you, but you're helping to facilitate it.
Well, at some point, there have to be a leader. There have to be someone that guide the whole project. And at some point, I would like to see myself doing that. Because I don't want to be always the one, on the recovery room, taking care of people, and at the events, doing. No, I want to be able to build a team where not just give them the opportunity to grow, but also teach them from my experience what to do and how to do it. So at some point, we can have, if it's 3 events at the same time happening in Orlando. We already do it. We had it on that weekend. During the weekend events, we had 2 events at the same time happening, and it was perfect. No delays, no problems, no nothing. So if I can do it at smaller scales now, who says that in 5 years I cannot do it in a bigger scale and add all these new things? That I'm going crazy and thinking about beauty, and I'm thinking, well, I'm just imagining what things can happen.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, I'm okay with just sticking with events and my recovery center.
You better go copyright.
It's funny. What were you going to say?
I'm like, go copyright EMC Wellness Center before someone else. Because I think that would be a brilliant way of pulling it in an umbrella. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I just don't think that it hurts. I don't know, kind of like we talked about the panel at the beginning of this, where it's just like, how do you keep going? And like the panel that me and Victor and like a few other people did, And it all starts with like a goal or a dream, like anything that we're pursuing. And I think that, like yesterday I was running, like I joked about not stretching after my 7-mile run, but like I moved to Winter Park a couple months ago, and I live in just like a normal apartment, but literally up the street are like mansions. And like 3 or 4 of the like miles of me jogging, I was just looking at all these beautiful houses, and like all I could do was just like think about like wanting that one day. Like whether it's actually fulfilling, I don't fucking know. But the main point is like I was envisioning this in a way that I hadn't. Like it almost like set up like a future goal for me, and it's like that's how anything starts. Like having like this umbrella of things like you were mentioning, like, or anything else, like just starts from a simple thought or like vision. And I think people underestimate that a lot.
They underestimate it because they don't have the thought process of believing in themselves, which is an easy way to start a problem within your life. Not believing in you, and not believing in you is not on one day. It's like a work that you have to do. Believing in you is you choose you every day, right? And it's not easy. It's easy to say, but it's not really easy to make it happen. But the reality is you have to see yourself owning that house. You have to see yourself owning that big EMC wellness. You have to see yourself running a big podcast where brands are asking you to collaborate with them, right? Because that's the only way you put yourself in that situation. When people close their eyes and they think about something, they not just think about something, they actually feel about it. You have to feel yourself knowing and wanting that and enjoying a breakfast in that big house and having a OJ and a pancakes there, right? Because that's the only way that you will see yourself in that situation. And what would you do? You might not be screaming to your kids, if it's kids there, for breakfast. You might let them know that breakfast is ready and they have to come down for why? Because now you understand that screaming is not the way to do things, right? And they learn from a leader, from a dad, right? Or from a mom, a leader from a mom. It doesn't matter the sex on that aspect. It's more like knowing that owning the house is not just the achievement. Feeling to own the house is the really achievement. Because the moment that you feel it, it doesn't matter if you still live in the small apartments, but your behavior change. You now are more proud of being on those apartments, and more proud of being a runner, and more proud of being a dad, and more proud of... Again, we should high. We don't know where it's going to end, but we should high. Because that's the only way that we can think of nothing less than that. Because if we assume that it's going to be okay in the complex apartment, it's going to be okay with only, the 8 to 5 job, it's only be okay with, only one trip a year with a kid. We, as human beings, are putting ourselves short, are calling our life short, And again, this is easy to say, but it's a mental thought process. It's a mental preparation. You have to feel things even that are not there to at some point attract them more often. Fair. I imagined this when I was in college. I imagine myself talking to people about this, and imagine, being on a, maybe not a podcast, because back then podcast wasn't that big, I guess.
Probably on radio.
But interviews and things like that. And I wasn't graduating college, and I was already on the radio back home and on the TV back home. Back home, where a TV show when I was growing up, I used to watch all the time for sports. So it's little steps, and little steps for me are good because they keep me moving. It's just part of the process, trying to repeat this to myself so I believe more in it the more I do it, because it's easy to come here and talk in front of the cameras and say all this, but then when you're out, it's like, I don't care about anything. But it's kind of like, okay, I say this today, tomorrow I gotta repeat it somehow again and so again and again, and next thing you know, it's like, now the house is here, or now the car is here, or now the family is here, or now the trip is here, or now the business is here, right? But it's kind of like the way I see it, and that's my only recommendation that I can see from this conversation that we're having.
I think that's important, because people always forget. There's a psychologist or something said that your brain's a lot more powerful than you think it is. If you convince it of something, it's going to believe it. If you convince it that you suck and you're mediocre, guess what the fuck you are for the rest of your existence? Yeah. Mediocre. But if you convince it that, hey, this is completely possible, but these are the steps I need to take. Yeah, you could say something out loud, but if you don't take the action, it's not going to work. But no, you beat me to it because I was going to ask you what tips you had, but here we go. Just fucking start doing the thing and believe that you envision it and work towards it.
Gotta believe.
I mean, that's 95% of it, man. If I think my work is trash, what the fuck is someone else going to think? If I believe the service I'm offering is not good, what am I going to do when I go, hey?
How can you offer it? How can you sell it?
Do you want to hire me? I'm just kind of in the middle. Like, it's good. I mean, there's being realistic, and then there's being, which I think the Rock, which I don't always like, but he said, like, being realistic is the fastest path to mediocrity. As like you said, shoot for the stars and fucking land somewhere else. Still got higher than you.
So higher than you thought. Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna close out any and I know that we're probably gonna follow up with Victor at a later time. Probably spend some time. Another video interview because there were a lot of questions we did not get to ask, but I'm sure, like I said, Sunday got to get home, so you better just watch out for the future episodes featuring Victor. Any closing words, last things before we go? Any events coming up that you guys were going to be at that you want to advertise?
Yeah, well, we have a couple events coming up. They
can find you on social media.
Yeah, to find us on social media, you can find us on Instagram and on Facebook as Extra Mile Care. And this upcoming weekend, we have a couple events happening with Lululemon, with Carolina Cardenas, Move to the Beach, and we have other brands that sometimes they don't allow us to say everything, so that people can, expect a little bit more from our social media. And just to tell a little bit about what we do in our recovery center, kind of like pricing wise and things like that. If you don't mind me sharing it, I can.
Oh, no, it's yeah.
So we do.
Curious. Yeah.
So we do assistant stretching, cupping and scraping, compression boots, and myofascial release for day-to-day athletes, all level athletes, from beginners to intermediate to professional athletes. And our pricing ranges go from $50 to $320 a month. So it really depends on what you need, how we approach the session for you. It's very direct and personalized for you. The first session is $80 and includes all services such as compression boots, myofascial release, cupping and scraping, and assistant stretching. But we really are going to use what you need to get you better. We're not just going to throw everything and expect that you're going to like it. It's more like specifically personalized and tailored for your needs.
Love it. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
And it 100% makes sense if you give everyone a sample of everything at first to figure out what you actually like. I'll tell you, I did cupping and I hated it. I would never do it again. This didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But left me bruised, at least for me. It didn't help.
Yeah, it really depends, right? Yeah. For everybody, it's not the same. We talked about it earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's a little snowflake. Everyone's a little bit different. Yeah. So what I needed out of my recovery wasn't that.
Yeah.
But definitely we're going to go ahead and make sure that we share your stuff on social.
Awesome. Thank you.
Whenever an event comes up, you let us know and we'll make sure that we give it a shout.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you.
David, anything you got coming up?
No, this has been great. And I, most of the time, whether it's like my own interviews or anything else, I just like to give a good howl. So, and Arthur again is like, why the hell are you doing that? But
no.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's become your sign off almost.
Yeah.
That's how people know you're on an episode. There's a random.
But yeah, no, this has been fun. Hopefully we can have more conversations in the future where we're picking people's brains and getting to know their stories. And yeah, I hope people are just inspired to go after their dreams, be a little delusional, and shoot for the stars.
Tell me, where can people find you and your photography? And if someone was interested in hiring you for portraiture photography, where can they reach you?
Yes, so you can follow me on Instagram at I am David Lawrence, and it's IAMDAVIDLAWRENCE. My website is the same, but .com. My phone number, I'm not going to give you my phone number. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can look me up there. That's a good start. Run the Weekend Project is a new thing that I'm working on, which is how I know Victor. I'm working on some different events and races. I'm hopefully coordinating teaming up with a barbecue restaurant to do a meatloaf run. That's all I'm gonna say. You can take your brain wherever you want. But yeah, look for a meatloaf run in the Milk District soon. What that means, you can figure it out. It's gonna be fun. But stay tuned.
I have so many concerns. All right, guys. So, of course, support those who support us. Make sure that you check both of their sites out.
Run the Weekend Project. You can't forget the project part. Is the Instagram. Yeah, sorry.
Run the Weekend Project.
Yep.
Perfect. Guys, if you like what we're doing, make sure that you like, subscribe, share with your friends, family, enemies, exes. I don't care who you share with. Just make sure that they like and subscribe.
I'll send it to my ex-wife.
Yeah, send it to the ex-wife. That's fine. She can do, what is this about? It's fine. Listen to the episode. You'll laugh. It's be great. Make sure that you give us a 5-star review. That's the easiest way to support us. And if you want to listen to some uncut, unfiltered episodes, make sure that you follow us on Patreon. So it's Arthur at Last Call Pod is my Instagram handle. And of course, you could find us all over social media at the same handle. We're going to be doing some more cocktail competitions and a lot more like recipes and unique things to us. We're going to keep picking the brains of people that have a great background and unique story to tell. So like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that. Bye, guys. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
And don't text your ex. Bye. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdy Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had, from flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business. I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn, Termite, and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.